Welcome back. Today, we're diving into a super fascinating explainer based on a guide from Mzansi magazine. We're literally sketching out the ultimate business blueprint for township entrepreneurs in South Africa, the iconic Spaza shop. Whether you're a seasoned hustler or just looking for a way to build some local financial independence, well, go ahead and grab your metaphorical chalk. We're going to map out the whole shebang right here on our digital doodle chalkboard. Let's get into it. Okay, let's dive right into our chalkboard syllabus for today. First up, we've got the heartbeat of the community. Then, your Spaza shop blueprint. Third, rules for daily success. Fourth, the financial bottom line. And finally, surviving the competitive market. All right, Section 1, Heartbeat of the Community, the Vision. So a Spaza shop is essentially a small, informal retail store that you'll typically find in townships and rural areas across South Africa. They sell the absolute everyday essentials, right? Bread, milk, toiletries, maybe some snacks. But honestly, beyond just that textbook definition, these shops act as an absolute lifeline. You know, in areas where massive formal retail stores are scarce or frankly just way too far to walk to, the local Spaza shop literally becomes the community's pantry. Now, you might be wondering, why do people start them? Well, it's beautifully simple and it's super impactful. As the source material points out, setting up a Spaza shop is a direct, hands-on response to unemployment. Because the startup costs are relatively low, this is a highly accessible way for South Africans to just, be their own boss and generate independent income. And the best part? It keeps that money circulating right there within the local economy. You're not just building a business, you're literally building up your neighborhood. Moving on to Section 2. Your Spaza shop blueprint, the setup. So here is your 5-step foolproof architectural blueprint. First, choose your location. Second, secure your capital. Third, stock up. Fourth, physically set up the shop. And fifth, obtain your permits. It's a very logical, step-by-step sequence to build a rock-solid foundation. Let's actually break a couple of these down. Let's look at step 1. Location. You can absolutely start right from your home or even a repurposed shipping container. Now, obviously, a high traffic area is the dream, right? You want that foot traffic. But listen, if you're working with a tight budget, starting right from your own home is an incredibly smart, practical choice. It minimizes your overhead right out of the gate so you can focus your hard-earned cash on inventory. And speaking of inventory, look at this absolutely crucial piece of advice from the source. Partner with reliable wholesalers to get competitive prices, as this will allow you to set affordable prices for your customers. Your choice of products is really going to dictate your shop's appeal. You want to start with those high-demand basics we talked about earlier. By finding the right wholesale partners, you protect your own profit margins while still keeping your community happy with affordable prices. It's a total win-win. Okay, Section 3, Rules for Daily Success, the Hustle. Now, what's really interesting about this part is, think of these rules as your daily homework. To truly succeed, Spaza shops need to lean hard into convenience. That means opening early and closing late, to be there when your customers actually need you. You got to offer excellent customer service, too. Greet people, be kind, become a real fixture in their daily routine. Keep your products fresh. Talk to your customers. That's basically your informal market research right there. Build relationships with at least 3 different suppliers so you never hit a wall and run out of stock. And throw in some occasional promotions to keep the whole thing exciting. Next up is Section 4, the financial bottom line, economics. 1,000 Rand. Just let that surprisingly low number sink in for a second. According to our source, this is the absolute minimum starting capital you might need to get this off the ground. With just R1,000, you can stock up on the core essentials. We're talking bread, milk, snacks, cold drinks. To put that into perspective, you really don't need some massive bank loan to start testing the waters and proving your business concept. And this brilliantly illustrates the potential upside. A well-run Spaza shop in a super busy area can generate daily earnings anywhere between R1,500 and R5,000. Now, obviously, that depends entirely on your location, your product range, and your own hard work. But it really grounds the entrepreneurial dream in hard, exciting data. The ceiling here, it's entirely up to your hustle. But hold on, here is a strict yet incredibly helpful reality check for us. Informal does not mean illegal. You absolutely must register your business with SARS, that's the South African Revenue Service, and your local municipality. You got to get your permits and handle your taxes. Actually, scratch that. It's not just about rules. Being compliant actively protects your business from sudden closure or massive fines, and it literally opens doors for future growth and funding. So whatever you do, do not skip this step. Finally, Section 5, surviving the competitive market. Reality check. Look, the township economy is tough. There's no way around it. Owners face fierce competition, the constant risk of stock shortages, very real security and crime concerns, and extremely limited bargaining power with those massive suppliers. However, the source outlines the true entrepreneurial resilience required to overcome all of this. By leaning into deep community support, constantly innovating your offerings, and forming strategic partnerships, local business owners navigate these exact challenges every single day. Now, let's look at the competitive landscape as a fascinating case study in business strategy. The source material details the dynamic between local Spaza owners and Somali entrepreneurs. The Somali shop strategy utilizes extensive bulk buying networks to lower costs, they work extended hours, and they operate on lower profit margins to drive high volume. In contrast, local Spaza owners pivot by leaning into their incredibly deep community relationships, offering unique, highly localized products, and forming their own joint buying partnerships. We aren't endorsing one approach over the other here at all. We are simply observing two very distinct, highly effective approaches to informal retail. So, what does this all mean? Well, the crucial takeaway is this. Collaboration can sometimes be the absolute best form of competition. Exploring partnerships with your supposed competitors, like, say, pooling your money together for joint buying, can drastically reduce your supplier costs. Plus, local business associations often offer training, mentorship, and sometimes even funding. You really don't have to operate on an island to make this work. And that brings us to the end of our chalkboard explainer. We've defined the vision, mapped out the setup, gone over those vital daily rules, crunched the hard numbers, and analyzed the market realities. The ultimate takeaway from our Mzansi magazine source is that success in this space lies in pure, relentless dedication. You now have the masterclass blueprint in your hands, so the only question left for you is, are you ready to run your own Spaza shop? Keep learning, keep hustling, and we'll see you in the next explainer.